that you're really not free. That we the people was just the introduction to our first political conspiracy. That we bundled power, money, and respect together and labeled it democracy, and their hypocrisy is a mockery to every word burned into each misleading amendment. Standing with steel-plated bracelets around my wrist, charged as society's loyalist defendant. Or am I but a dependent to a society that deceives and misleads me? Or am I but a dependent to the greed that surrounds and drowns and demeans me? And what does my freedom really mean to me if I don't know what each and every right truly gives? Or how many people died so I could have the right to better this life I live? And I know it is what it is, but does that mean we have to pretend we've accepted it? And how can we put our lives in the hands of a document before we've completely inspected it? Because what do you think will happen to you if you're ever found guilty of rejecting it? So I recommend dissecting it to explore the lies inside. Because we, the people, are the only ones who can demand it be revised. But, yeah, we can't create an uprising because we're too busy despising each other. Because America's made sure we're known as citizens and not just sisters and brothers. And you may just see me as another poet who boldly expresses a view. But I'm willing to take that first step because I'm already racing towards step number 2. And all we have to do is start inspecting the so-called truth. And we're free to choose if we use the facts before or after 9/11 as our proof. And there's this roof that's been placed 6 inches from our minds. That's so they can have enough time to ensure each and every one of us stays blind. And I'm trying to find a verbal weapon that's strong enough to penetrate, because if I speak too loudly, I could be the next one they'll interrogate. Questions again. What would you do if I told you that we freely let another 4 years slip by again? And what would you do if I told you that we let their lies slip inside again? And what would you do if I told you that they'd let buildings and planes collide again? And I can't help but to begin to understand the hidden facts. That the ultimate outcome of 9/11 happened the moment Saddam's neck was snapped. That was the same day they didn't say that more of our soldiers were kidnapped. So they try to impact us with fears, and they try to impact us with tears until they appear to be making decisions that keep us safe at night. So they deploy a couple hundred more soldiers to fight a war with blinded sight, trying to convince us our rights are protected when they continue to violate. Saying the war in Iraq is an attack established to protect the United States, but in actuality, this war was in place so that the Bush administration could retaliate. In this country, to focus our attention on American problems and issues. And they still haven't even cleaned our streets from Katrina's blood-soaked teary tissues. And they wish that we couldn't see how the wealthy get let free when they're caught breaking the so-called rules. Building us all these first-class prisons, only to leave us with all these second-class schools. And we can't just assume that we'll just somehow be given all of these rights. Just like they can't presume that we won't one day unite together and fight. And I believe that it might just be slightly getting out of hand. Starting with oil spills in the Gulf and ending with a healthcare system we don't understand. And believe me, it can get worse than we could ever comprehend. So, no, I won't agree to everything spoken through the name of democracy. And no, I won't accept explanations offered through the name of conspiracy. And no, I won't pretend to ignore the circumstances behind so many people who died mysteriously. And no, I can't take men who smirk when they speak and then call themselves our leaders seriously. There's a very strong possibility that some may think my words create an American instability, but I was given the capability to express what so many are far too afraid to say. And it only takes a couple more like me to ensure America doesn't continue this way, that they can't display our rights as the reasons our soldiers are dying, when day to day they continue to ignore the sounds of American families that are crying. And I'm not trying to overload you with rhyming words of painful proof. My pen began to spin through pages of America's factual truth, and you could disappear in a poof. And you could somehow vanish if you disagree with any presidential staff. And I've been doing the math and checking the numbers, and our government's coming up short. But we don't seem to notice because we're too busy watching celebrities preparing for court. Our ports are well protected, but they let terrorists on our planes, hearing a bunch of stuttering when we ask them to explain. So I came to the conclusion that I won't allow another political infusion to create some type of internalized confusion, so I'm refusing to agree. Asking everyone I know to truly evaluate if they can really consider themselves free. And for those that remain trapped inside the government's greatest conspiracy, when they come around to seek where you heard these facts, make sure you tell them the truth came directly from me.